I must say, the weather today is simply wonderful. You are quite the beautiful young lady. Virgil, at your service. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. Harley, at your service. Oh, a pleasure. Paimon's Paimon. And is at your service too. Ah, such elegant names. Welcome to the court of Fontaine. It is truly an honour to meet the two of you here. Paimon can't stand much more of this. How did you know we're not from Fontaine? With a glance, it is obvious that you're that you're unsatisfied with being bathed in the soft lights of the city, but feel the call of the wild, which will never be illuminated by bright city lights. Yes, just like the heroes in the operas. Yeah, that's totally true. Harley is an adventurer too. Ad Astra, Abyssosque and all that jazz. Ha, I knew it. Those are the Adventurers Guild of Beggarly. Beggarly? Courageous warriors begging with all their hearts to unlock the deepest mysteries of the world. They wake with their eyes to the stars above, and sleep with their back to the abyss below. Where there is an unknown domain, there is an adventurer who simply must explore it, bravery bursting beyond the brim. I could not help but notice how your gaze is focused on many things. Perhaps you wish to study our sublime arts, our intricate clockwork mecha, or our advanced civic culture. Nah, it's okay, I guess. Amazing! Paimon didn't even notice the decorations, but Paimon did notice that Fontaine has a ton of delicious foods that she's never seen anywhere else. Not bad, isn't it? We have a long and glorious tradition of gourmet culture in Fontaine. Naturally, the two of you must often take your meals in the great outdoors, and thus are unfortunately limited in your ability to sample the breadth of Fontaine's superb cuisine. Unable to experience the luxurious richness that is leisurely afternoon tea with a few pastries? You don't look that rich. You should know, my dear friend, the true wealth is never flaunted as something as shallow as outward appearances. Hey, Harley, let's get back on topic. Paimon thinks that Virgil has a commission for us. Most excellent, my two exceptional friends. Have you heard of the Liacruse treasure? Nope, haven't heard of it. Then please, allow me to explain. This is a legend of a lost treasure that has been passed down in Fontaine for centuries. Once, there was a secret society called the Liliacruz Forum that was able to attract a great many of the rich and influential. Though they humbly called themselves a forum, their actual plan was to overthrow Fontaine itself. In the end, their conspiracy was exposed, and the extinguished members of the forum engaged in a thrilling battle with the Maison Gardiennage, but were ultimately defeated in the climactic showdown. However, my dear friends, you must know that they were once the richest and most famous of all Fontaine, and they must have gathered a tremendous amount of wealth. Yeah, they definitely did, and they must have a huge treasure vault somewhere. And when you open it, whoa, it's overflowing with nothing but gold, shining like the sun. Correct. They wish to overthrow our beautiful Fontaine, and to do so they must have amassed a fortune so vast that they could literally be said to have more money than Morax. That's not difficult, buddy. However, this wealth was never found. Hee hee. So that means that as long as we can find the Lilia Cruz treasure, we'll also be filthy rich. Excellent deduction, my dear Paimon. With that fortune, control of synth. Anyway, after a lengthy investigation, I have discovered the location of the Lilia Cruz Forum's headquarters. It can be found amidst the underwater ruins outside the city. Really? What do you think? My dear Paimon, Harley, I hereby sincerely extend an invitation to both of you to become my partners, and dive beneath the waves to search for the lost treasure. Even though Fontaine's water is different from elsewhere, Paimon can never forget how she was drowning before being rescued by you. Never fear, I am here. Yeah, you'll save Paimon again for sure. If that's settled, please allow me to prepare diving equipment for the two of you. I should have the correct sizes. There's no need. Ah yes, I remember. Vision holders may dive freely in our waters. But if it's you, dear Harley... Of course, I do not doubt your abilities. Harley is a famed adventurer, and she must be very aware of her limits. But it just so happens that I do not share the same capabilities, so I will have to rely on our homegrown technology to keep myself alive. Be that as it may, shall we begin? Well, are you ready? Yes, please, lead the way. We're going treasure hunting with this guy. Your wish is my command. Please, follow me. Our destination is not far from the court of Fontaine. You arrive with Virgil at a place that seems a bit deserted. Virgil is wearing diving gear that looks difficult to move in. Wow, it looks so heavy and hot and stuffy. Actually, you can place mist flowers wrapped in cloth inside to lower the temperature. As for the weight, well, just put it underwater. There's no time for delay. Let's go, my friends. Okay. You know, Paimon would love to see what you'd look like in diving gear. Please take extra care in your investigation, you two. The nearby water bodies may contain valuable resources and clues left behind by the... Did that say forum? Information and clues regarding the forum. Something like this, then? Absolutely. Maybe. Most definitely. Wow, it's absolutely soaked. Do we really need to collect these things? Even that which is soaked rotten has the value of something soaked rotten, Paimon. Really? Is this Fontainian culture too? It didn't give me any dialogue? Alright. There seems to be a space down below. That there does. I think I've... Yeah, I went down here once before. Please wait, you're going too fast. I suppose you aren't run-of-the-mill travelers after all. No, Paimon didn't think there'd be an underwater ruin like this. Behold the ruins of the Lilia Creuset Forum. Well, it's become a sanctuary for all kinds of aquatic life now. Alright, Harley, it's time to try that. What is that? Unleash the... Okay. Wait. I looted this whole area. Why are there new things here? To think that the key would be here. Oh, okay. It's part of the quest. Have you been here before, Virgil? Not long ago, my dear Paimon, my companions and I were stopped dead in front of the gate ahead, for we were not as quick-witted as you. Well, it's good that you met us then, isn't it? Well said. It is my good fortune indeed. Nice. Yeah, I made it through here once before, but then I couldn't get into the building. Yeah, because I didn't have the key. Oh! Why is there one of the... Oh, what do you fucking call them? The Dorito guys. These are specific to the Seymour Desert, which is like all the way down fucking like here. Why is it interesting? This is one of the things from like the desert ruins. But the rest of this doesn't look very deserty. It looks like very specific to Fontaine. Huh. The desert civilization and the ancient Fontaine civilization were really connected, I guess. Like, this is another... This plinth is from the desert ruins. Unless, the only thing I can really think of is that, like, maybe... whoever, like, lived here took a lot of the stuff from the desert ruins for themselves and then stored them here. Like, you know, the British Museum. Interesting, there's a waypoint here. Indicates that we'll need to come back here. Or at least be able to easily access this area. Yeah, these mechanisms, we ran into them before back in the deserts of Sumeru. My point exactly. Looks like the people from this forum or whatever also researched stuff from Sumeru. There's a camera. See, my original understanding when they first put cameras in this game, back in like 1.2 or 3, was that it was a relatively new invention, but like clearly with this being here, it was not a new invention. So I don't know whether they just changed their minds on it, because it definitely has been like, there have been cameras in in use a lot of places that weren't necessarily recent. So I think they just changed their minds on it, maybe. A lot of this architecture looks just like the NARZISSENKREUZ Institute, which I guess it's like part of the same ancient like civilization. Ancient log. Oh. I was assigned to the same lab. I was nervous at first, since everyone said that he was a child prodigy. Since the disaster, such people are even more precious. I thought that since he's a star of the Institute and was recommended by higher-ups, he'd be full of himself, but he's much better than I expected. He's just not especially nice or anything. No obvious symptoms. I wonder if this is about Renee. I made a huge mistake and knocked over an ancient geometry machine that took a lot of effort to bring back from the desert ruins. But then the machine came to life and messed everything up. Yeah, it must be Renee, because they were exploring the desert ruins, so I guess that makes sense. Though he's a lot younger than me, he's really smart. I can't believe that's how he managed to tame the machine. Maybe taming isn't the right word? Maybe the other engineers will look down on me for using it, but it really did feel like taming. I know the current clockwork machines pretty well, so I can tell the huge technological gulf between the two. Ignoring structure, if we can't solve the power source problems, then it will be difficult to make any meaningful progress. But I still have to be careful. I've never seen Alain angry, and I don't want to find out what he looks like when he gets angry. A few minor symptoms have appeared. Took the day off. I can hardly believe it. Alain came to see me and even brought his sister. She's cute and not afraid of strangers. I'm so happy. Oh, that'll be Marianne, right? We discussed the idea of a thinking machine based on gems and tape circuits. I used the word discussed, but actually I just said things like, oh, or that's really amazing, or how will you do that, whenever he paused, and didn't make any real contributions. He was really into it though, and he behaved very differently than he usually does in the lab. Or maybe it is about... I don't know anything. His little sister is probably way smarter than me, a research assistant. I guess it isn't that boring when it flares up, but I want to return to the Institute to help as soon as I can. The additional machines got here. The previous ones are no longer usable since they were completely dismantled, but it did clear up a lot of things, at least according to him. Something about it being driven by the elements and the ley lines, but we can't recreate it with our current level of industrial precision and material science. I helped with compiling the report, but there's so much I couldn't understand. Apparently, lots of people are secretly unhappy that Alain has more research resources than them, but if you ask me, everyone's smarter than me, and they should all get along. That way we can make the world a better place. His sister said that some of their friends are joining the Institute. I'm looking forward to meeting them. No obvious symptoms. Join the lab as new partners, but now I'm even more confused by their conversations. Why is it I can understand every word on its own, but once they string them all together, I can't make heads or tails of it? Jacob is really the only one even close to being on the same level as me. I feel ashamed just writing that. As an adult looking for reassurance from a child as young as Jacob, I feel like I've lost all the self-respect an adult should have. Based on their research on prime energy machinery, seems like they decided to adopt this name, Alain and Renee are thinking about trying to use the characteristics of Uzia and Numa to construct a new kinetic core. A few minor symptoms. I may have made a contribution. Well, maybe? I went on a picnic with Alain, his sister, Renee, and Jacob. It was technically supposed to be field research, but the idea came from Alain's sister and me. We thought they didn't have any life at all outside of their research, so we asked the Institute's director to arrange something. Petrichor's quite boring, but the scenery is quite nice, since you can see the Great Waterfall. I brought a camera from the Institute to take photos for them. I hope there are more outings like this one in the future, so I can take more photos of his sister especially. Sir? After all, Alain is always working and can't be with his sister as she grows up, so these photos will come in handy later when he regrets not spending much time with her. Then he'll be able to see how she was at different times, and he won't sing so much. If only my family had enough money for a camera and things didn't go wrong, I'm sure my mum would have taken lots of photos of me. Renee and Jacob like Alain's sister a lot too. When the four of them hang out, she sometimes acts like an older sister to them, despite being the youngest. It's a really interesting dynamic. Seems to be interested in the ruins and the stone statues here. Renee also mentioned something about a troop and seals. Even though we went out there to have a bit of fun for once, they were still thinking about research. No obvious symptoms. Took the day off. Alain's sister came to see me with Jacob. Alain and Renee couldn't make it because their experiment is at a critical stage. They didn't have to tell me any of that, though. After all, with my limited abilities, that I was able to help at all is already fulfilling. I heard that Alain and the Institute's director came to see me separately while I was unconscious. I feel bad that they came all this way for nothing. I wasn't even awake. Still taking time off, but I hope to go back and help them again soon. I found out that they were graduates from the NARZISSENKREUZ Institute, and that made me really happy. They talked about the director and the vice director, as well as their adventures, and it made me feel like a kid again. The only detail that didn't make sense was the cake the vice director made, because it felt like punishment when we had it. After the disaster, I lost contact with pretty much all my friends. I'm so happy that they were able to find each other again. I wonder how my friends are doing. They're probably trying to rebuild the NARZISSENKREUZ Institute. Next time I'll go check it out. Talked about the thinking machine again. I had an idea about making a thinking camera so that it would take photos of those precious to him while he's busy. He thought it was kind of pointless, but that it had security and surveillance applications. They did it! The light bulb came on! I was lucky to have recovered in time to witness this historical moment. It's quite a pity, but I hope Renee and Jacob will make the breakthroughs of their own in their own research topics. I also hope they get better assistance than me. No clear symptoms. Took the day off. There were several visits while I was unconscious. It's a shame, all I could do was read the letters they left behind. Jacob left me a note, inviting me to his and Renee's lab. There's something they want to talk to me about. I hope I can get out of bed soon. So it seems like the days that this person takes off, are days to like recover from whatever is wrong with them. Anne brought flowers for me, but they had already wilted by the time I woke up. Took the day off. I was able to get out of bed today. This is where I first met Alain. For a time afterwards, my first time standing here. Oh, I see. This is where I first met Alain, like previously. For a time afterwards, my first time standing here, I documented the experimental procedures and phenomena based on his oral descriptions. He was trying to start up the machinery below in an ill-fitting lab coat. Renee and Jacob later entered through the door, and Alain would temporarily forget to act the young genius and rush towards them like an energetic kid. I found myself witness to the first successful controlled annihilation reaction. The brilliant light cast a deep, dark shadow, and I believe history was made in that moment. Can someone like me, so excited I knocked over the ink bottle, play a role in such a historical event? Behind the locked door on the other side is Renee and Jacob's lab. It seems access was limited due to the dangerous nature of their research. They are destined to become towering figures in history. I guess Alain moved to another lab. Based on his plan, once the energy problem was solved, he would study kinematics. I'll go greet him later. I wonder how Anne is doing now. I wonder what kind of beautiful woman she will grow up to be. I'll stop writing here. I don't have much time left. I hope everything goes well. Did they know they were going to die? Or transform into something? Or stop being conscious? Like, how will we open that door and proceed onward? Oh, so this is the forum you were talking about. There are so many books everywhere. They must really have been dedicated to studying and conducting research. Paimon would never have guessed that they were a secret society plotting to overthrow the government of Fontaine. As the saying goes, dear Paimon, knowledge is power. This is especially true for the NARZISSENKREUZ. I need to find out how to pronounce this because it's bugging me. For the NARZISSENKREUZ forum. You should understand that with great knowledge comes great power. And once great power is yours to command, there will only be one path left to you. Paimon doesn't think that logic really holds water, but you're the local, not Paimon, so Paimon will trust you know what you're talking about and leave it at that. They seem to have been researching some amazing things though. We've already seen plenty of stuff that obviously isn't from here on the way. Last time we saw them was in the deserts of Sumeru. Well, knowing their extensive resources, it couldn't have been too hard for them to get their hands on these kinds of things. After all, this is the fabulously wealthy NARZISSENKREUZ forum we're talking about here. But we've also explored a lot of domains and seen more than our fair share of cool things during our adventures. Is that so? Did I presume you've also found a lot of treasure? You presume correctly. How fascinating. I mean, what a terrific achievement. I expected nothing less from the two of you. It's too bad that this place is completely flooded. It really feels like a lot happened here, and they made a lot of important discoveries. The water levels of Fontaine have risen before, and according to the folks at the Fontaine Research Institute, they will rise again in the future. Perhaps one day, all of Fontaine would disappear beneath the waves. That'd be terrible. All that delicious food, drowned and lost forever. Anyway, let's hope nothing like that will happen in the future. The future? Who cares about that? I'll be dead long before then, so why should I worry about the people alive then? What do the people in Fontaine of the future have to do with me? Bro, I would pay my respects to my family and friends. After all, they raised me and have done many things for me. But have the people of the future done anything for you? For me? So what do we owe them? Isn't that right? That's what I might have said about the issue of flooding if I lacked both patriotism and a sense of civic responsibility. Pretty abominable. Anyway, sorry for digressing. There should be a way to open the door below. Let's take a look around to see if there are any clues or keys. I'll also try to see if I can find anything in the associated files, my dear friends. Let me see. So this is actually the Institute of Natural Philosophy? Looks like the wrong place after all. Oh, so there were things like this hidden here. How fascinating. I can use it against Sonny and the others. Should be able to make use of this laboratory. Let's take care of things first. Nice. Brilliant! Now we can continue further into the Institute's depths, as expected of a seasoned adventurer. Aren't we investigating the forum? So is it a forum or an institute? Sorry, I misspoke. And forgive me for asking this out of the blue, but did either of you ever run into anyone who was looking for me? Or did you tell anyone else about our encounter? Paimon doesn't think so. What's wrong, Virgil? Do you owe someone a ton of Mora? No, of course not. It just occurred to me that I should let you know that there are many greedy goons who are also after the Lilia Crucis Forum's secret treasure. They're very different from us. They're willing to do anything to achieve their goals, so I've always refused to work with them. Sure. As I know the most about the treasure's whereabouts, they have me in their sights. I spent a long time hiding from their prying eyes and looking for partners I can trust. It is my luck to have finally met you two, my dearest friends. So that's what's going on. In any case, I'm just relieved to hear that you never told anyone else about me. Phew! I just know I picked the right people to be my partners. Only your best friends can be relied on to keep your secrets. I barely know you, my guy. Yep, don't worry, Virgil. We won't tell anyone else about you. I have complete confidence that you will never ever tell another soul about me. Is he going to kill us? Let's go. The treasure's waiting for us. Yep, here we come. Treasure. Yeah, he's going to try and either kill us or, like, trap us. Virgil, don't we really have to continue looking for soap pieces of paper? Oh, that. Well, not anymore. Unless you're interested in that sort of thing anyway. Didn't you say that things that are soaked rotten have their soaked rotten value or something? Yes, I suppose, dear friends, you could say something like the situation has changed. Really? Well, you're the local, so we'll take your word for it. Wow, look at these flowers. They're so bright.
Don't tell me that's every day.
Defeat the clockwork mecha. Okay.
Right here. Emerge.
Whoa, is this some kind of killing machine? Good heavens, Harley, you certainly have a way with these mecha. Phew, we must be getting close to the treasure. After all, we've already run into the guards. Though Fontaine's achievements are as numerous and dazzling as the stars in the sky, the clockwork mecha are undoubtedly the most exquisite of them all. Though perhaps I shouldn't overpraise. One of the most exquisite. You must have travelled via aquabus when you visited the court, correct? Tell me you've seen the intricate steambird as well. In Fontaine, even blacksmithing is done by mecha. Why, the Maison Gardiennage didn't even have to lift a finger to beat me up. They just sent out some garden mechs. It hurt so much, there was no choice but to submit. Beat you up? I mean, beat up the bad guys. Why would they ever beat me up? Whoa, if mecha are already so advanced, then surely the people of Fontaine don't need to do anything for themselves anymore and can just leave everything to machines. That's a good one, my dear friend. You're just adorable. It's a lot cheaper to hire a human than buy a clockwork mecha. Or to put it another way, no one and nothing can infringe on a Fontaine citizen's right to work. Paimon, why don't you show him that trick of yours again? Beep! Construct! Beep! How fascinating. In any case, though, I think everyone would agree that humans and machines are not the same. Though, all the places we've been have their own charm too. It's not like Fontaine is just better than everywhere else, right? My friend, surely you cannot be serious. How can there be any place in Teyvat that's better than Fontaine? Paimon was just trying to say that other places are also really special too. Virgil, have you ever set foot outside of Fontaine? My dearest Paimon, you should know that there's an old saying in Fontaine. All waters lead to Fontaine. It's not the people of Fontaine who should go out and see the world, but all the world should come and witness Fontaine's glory. Don't get it backwards. This is such a... such a French attitude. Such a European attitude, I think, in general. Do people really say that? Of course they do. Anyway, my friends, why don't we keep going? The treasure's still waiting for us deep inside these ruins. Yeah, let's go, Harley. Ancient log. Following Guillotine's instructions, the research went well. We've created a clockwork mecha that can release energy. To be honest, we no longer need to call it a clockwork machine, as it doesn't rely on elastic potential. It'll be compelling to see what results he achieves next in kinematics. There's no way old-fashioned clockwork mecha can withstand such power input. Even young geniuses must stumble now and then. The thought of using this sort of unstable energy source is impressive. Though we've long observed these unique energies in Fontaine's atmosphere, water, and organisms, it has always been regarded as a latent threat rather than a potential resource. Aren't there a few young geniuses too many nowadays? The director is pleased, sure, but won't someone spare a thought for us ordinary people? I mean, not all of us are as simple-minded as Sherbius. I wonder if that's the person who wrote the other log. It received a very high rating. If the patent were to be granted, the potential financial gain would be considerable. However, I decided to decline the opportunity, because the machine was practically all Guillotine's work, and I can take no credit there. Damn. My family was quite angry about it, but as an engineer, one must have at least a little dignity and self-awareness. Wow. Still making improvements, and output efficiency has increased. Seems to have been specially recruited. That's good. Had he continued that line of research, who knows what horrors he might have unleashed. At this stage, we have to pull out. The director says everyone will be given a position and research resources after reconstruction, but I'm afraid if it were me, I would use this as an excuse for a major shake-up. People like me won't get recalled anyway. Never mind. I've been pretty happy these past few days. I guess I'll consider it my retirement. I'll go to the city and open a small workshop, repairing watches for folks, cameras too. Right, I'll see if I can make a waterproof clock. With the way things are going, I might make a killing in the future. I feel like that's written from the perspective of someone different to the person who wrote the last one. It feels like a different person. And it feels like the Sherbius they mentioned is the person who wrote the last one.
Well, what do we have here?
Just from my perspective. But then again, I am frequently wrong, so who the fuck knows?
Right now, emerge. Right here.
There's even Clockwork's mecha over here. We're definitely getting closer to the treasure. Terrific. That's the spirit. Oh. Oh. Oh, interesting.
Right now, right here. Emerge.
Abyss creatures in here? That's sus. Oh shit. Yeah.
Just as I
Drained
expected.
conch cup. Wait, what the fuck? An ancient conch container can perhaps be traced back to an even older civilization. Alright, ancient notes. Though it's a shame, we'll have to miss it. I was looking forward to Coppelius' new work. Ever since he was a child, he's always been incredibly talented. Oh, okay, so maybe Coppelius is one of the people who wrote the logs and stuff. Because Coppelius and Coppelia are the boss, but they're like made in memory of those people, I guess. Out of consideration for everyone's safety, it has been decided that the Institute shall close. Driven by the energy and vigor of youth, the young ones are clamoring to go out and do battle. I hope someday they will understand the importance of prioritizing post-disaster reconstruction over marching off to die. Oh, I bet this is around the cataclysm? I fear it shan't be long before we must depart. We've chosen a good piece of land near the Fountain of Lucine as the post-relocation site. They even say they want to use the land to build an opera house. They'd sooner set faces aflame with shame and laughter. To think that anyone could be so comical. We're going to pay our respects at Basil's grave. I hope it all turns out like Emmanuel said. However, it's the Institute's responsibility to support gifted and talented youths. Met with the newly appointed Eudex. So if this is around the Cataclysm, then that implies that Neviette became the Eudex at that time. He has a peculiar temperament. Seems much more reliable than Leon and those other clowns. If all goes well, it has the potential to completely revolutionize our understanding of Clockwork Mecha. The proposed methodology and plan are reliable, worth paying more attention. Oh, are they talking about maybe the oratories? The results of early phases have been satisfactory. We will increase our investment. Carter's leave requests have been increasing in frequency. Oh! Maybe it isn't. I don't know. Better have someone keep an eye on him. He may be having financial difficulties. Not like it's possible for it to be a family matter. After some consideration, I've decided to enroll them and temporarily assign them to the same lab. However, I'm concerned about the impact of their joining after Alain on the mental state of others. Must keep careful watch. Still unconscious during the visit, so couldn't speak. Decided to take a blood sample and see if there's a cure, or a way to mitigate it. Oh, I wonder if they were turning into a hilly churl. Although the proposed research plan is expected to face challenges in obtaining recognition, I believe it holds significant practical value, so it justifies approval. Toxins remain in the soil and water and have not yet been fully neutralized. The water is producing deformed oceanids. In a way, this could be a reflection of previous events. I only just learned that these are Carl's adopted children. It's a shame the NARZISSENKREUZ Institute no longer exists. Oh, yeah. Carl's adopted children were becoming oceanids, yeah. This could be the biggest breakthrough in a century. It will change all of society. The report mentioned abnormal movements. I'll have to find a chance to talk to Emmanuel about it. Yeah, it seems like maybe the person who was having to take, like, a lot of time off was maybe, like, slowly turning into an hilly shell or an abyssal creature. Like it was a very gradual process. Yeah, why is there a ruin guard here? So this must be the same one mentioned in the files. What files? Nothing. I meant the description I read in the Steambird. I suppose this is dangerous? Then I'll leave it to you two. Ancient investigative report. There are suspicions of some sort of association or group activity amongst the leaders, with a so-called master involved. Whilst they are very vigilant towards external investigations, there is currently no evidence of aggression or any invasive nature, so the case is not being pursued through official investigative channels. Objective remains unclear, and further investigation is required. There is reason to suspect that the Institute may be the hub of these activities. The people maybe from, like, the displaced kids from the Institute, like, created, like, went further with their research further than they should have done and created something they shouldn't. I don't know. According to my research, this should be the treasure vault at the Lilia Crucis Forum. The riches we seek should be within. Whoa, a treasure vault? But this doesn't look like a vault at all. Paimon thought the vault would be full of glittering golden mora, as dazzling as the sun. You should know, my dear friends, that just as the truly wealthy do not flaunt it in anything as shallow as appearances, real treasure... Oh, Paimon knows what you're about to say. The real treasure was the friends we made along the way! I was about to say that the real treasure is not so easily revealed, but you're also exactly right, Paimon. I have to say, I could never have come up with something so wise and philosophical. Hoyoverse is so self-aware. Regardless, the purpose of our expedition is to uncover the treasure the Institute has hidden away for centuries. And I am convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt that the treasure is hidden in this room. So let's hurry up and get in there and find it. This guy is so ridiculously sus. Are you sure? Paimon doesn't see anything in there besides a few broken ruin mechanisms. Your words wound me, my friend. We're partners who are seeking the Institute's long-lost treasure together. Do you really doubt me? Okay, so is this a forum or an institute? About that. Let's just say that different records refer to it differently. But my dear Harley, the name isn't the important thing. We should keep our eyes on the prize. What we are talking about isn't merely a matter of hundreds of thousands or even millions of Mora, but a vast secret trove of hundreds of millions of Mora sleeping within the vault. Hundreds of millions of Mora? And there are other priceless items in the vault too. Like, there's the all-powerful Lilia Crucis Holy Sword, which can pierce through armor and destroy the soul itself. A magical item powerful beyond compare. Maybe this references the sword that we found in the other quest. Whoa! Paimon had no idea! And it's all in this vault? Precisely. And if you ask me, every moment that we spend bantering here increases the risk of us being beaten to the treasure by all sorts of scrupulous ruffians who will stop at nothing to steal it. I mean, we're standing in the way of the door. We can't let that happen. It's our treasure. See, you get me. Then in that case, Harley and Paimon, please go forth and recover the treasure. I'll make sure to watch the rear. Treasure, here we come. Yep, here we come, treasure. Don't worry, I won't let anyone get through. Oh, and please let me know when you find the treasure. Whoa, hundreds of millions of Mora. How can I... What's wrong, Harley? Hurry up and go and find the treasure. These things are usually huge. These things are usually bigger than that guy. Seeing a tiny one is absolutely sending me. He's just a little guy. He's so tiny. Another ancient log. It seems the ordinary diary machines can no longer satisfy him. As a result, the director used national resources to obtain something truly horrifying. Rumor has it that someone was nearly killed. I hope this will help him achieve his research objectives. They even got him some rare diary mechanical parts being studied by Seymour researchers as part of the package. Things went out of control for a third time. Guillotine may be willing to risk his own life, but that doesn't mean the rest of us feel the same. I came up with an emergency damage control strategy, and I hope we won't need to use it before he finishes his kinematics research. However, given his personality, it seems unlikely that he'll ever truly complete that research. It seems that his experiments into machines were intended to create a mechanical dog as proof of his accomplishments in kinematics and material science. That's Seymour. It's actually a good idea and could be showcased in the city, and the creature is much more personable and likable compared to the automated turret next door. At least he lived long enough to be poached by the Marechaussee hunters. It wasn't easy for us to survive this long either. But what will we do with this blasted crazy killing machine that can repair itself? Whatever, that's a problem of future generations. He really said, fuck this, I'm out. Someone else's issue. This machine, why does it look kind of familiar? I think we've seen it before. Well, since this order brought all kinds of mechanisms from other nations to this place, this is probably something they hauled over from some distant ruin as well. Paimon just had a really scary thought. What if the so-called treasure is just their research findings and has nothing to do with piles of Mora at all? Yeah, that's the scary thing. Knowledge has value too. Yeah, you're right, Harley. But Paimon still wants Mora. If we had hundreds of millions of Mora, we could build a pretty house and invite all our friends over, just eating great food and having fun day after day. What a life. But now that you mention it, this Lilia Crucis forum really did a lot of research, didn't they? We saw so many cameras along the way. They were probably used to record the results of their experiments, right? And there's also a notebook here too. Let's see. Yep. It's hard to make out a lot of the words. It says, When something goes out of control, break, something else, something, so damage can be controlled. Paimon sure hopes this ruin thing isn't going to suddenly stand up. It's just a ruin grader. We can handle it. Paimon's not worried about you being strong enough. Paimon's just scared that you'll break the treasure in the middle of the fight. We don't even know if there's a treasure here to break. There has to be. There is, right? Oh, Paimon. There's a glass wall here, and it seems like there's a bunch of water behind it. Look, there are cracks in the glass. Ah! That looks dangerous. If the glass suddenly breaks, who knows where we'll get swept off to. Let's find the treasure quickly and get the heck out of here. Huh? What's that sound? Virgil, what's going on? I'm so very sorry. I made a terrible mistake. It was only during our expedition that I realized this wasn't the former grounds of the Lilia Crucis Forum, but rather the ruins of the Institute of Natural Philosophy. There's no treasure here, but there are lots of experiments on machinery and energy. And now, my dearest friends, another experiment is about to begin. As for treasures, it would be wrong to say there aren't any at all here. As seasoned adventurers, I'm sure you've accumulated quite a bit of mora and other precious items over the course of your journey. I will return after the conclusion of the experiment to collect the treasures you are sure to leave behind. And don't you worry, my friends. I'll be sure to put them to good use. Virgil, you lied to us. I'm not surprised at all. So you knew and still decided to step into my trap. You're the kind of person I despise the most. So arrogant and disdainful. You blasted fools all treat me like an idiot. Even a couple of foreign Whatever. According to the records here, this machine is a special ruin grader. No matter how good you are, even if you can handle ruin guards, you're still only made of flesh and bone. As to what makes it special, I'll leave you to find out in your own good time. Goodbye, my dear partners. Harley, get ready. Fight and survive. Excellent.
Emerge. Right now. Hi. Over here. Use the spotlight.
What the? This rowing machine really is something special.
Emerge.
Oh, it's healing.
Right now. Nothing lasts forever.
Somewhat uncooperative research subject. Damn. Wait, did I ult and it didn't do any damage? The fuck?
Hold the line. Let the magic begin. Covenant of defeat.
This rusty bucket of bolts just won't stay down. Paimon's got it. Harley, hurry and break that glass wall. Oh, I see. There you go. Under the relentless assault of the raging waters, the ruin grader ceases to function, but you and Paimon are swept away. Ooh. Paimon drank so much water. Paimon's so mad. To think that Virgil would be someone like that. Good thing we managed to escape that way. Who knows what might have happened otherwise. Once we're out of here, we gotta go find him and settle the score. Paimon can't believe he put us in danger like that. Bro, where are we going? What the fuck? Paimon didn't think there'd be buildings like this underwater. It looks like the rising water levels have caused a lot of damage to Fontaine. People used to live here, right? Paimon gets a little sad thinking about that. Where do you think this current's gonna take us? Good question. What if we get trapped in some underwater dead end? Light! Harley! Paimon sees light! Oh, oops. Phew, we finally got out. Paimon's pissed. We're gonna find that guy and we're gonna settle the score. Now, this is a most serendipitous meeting. Won't you agree, my dear Luca? Are you not Virgil? Who are you? Apologies. Look at me, beginning a conversation without even introducing myself. I am Sonny, the one they sometimes call the White Glove. Oh wait, maybe it's not the same person. Because the guy referenced Sonny before when you talked to him. My friend here is Luca the Fisherman. He's pretty famous in certain circles. Yeah, he really looks like a fisherman. Hello. Paimon is... It's most alright. I know that you are Paimon, and this blonde traveller is Harley. Huh? You know us already? But of course, it's just that before today, my knowledge of you was much like my knowledge of the Chief Justice. In other words, I knew of you, but you did not know of me. Okay. With your fame and accomplishments, it is only natural that news of your arrival would reach us as soon as you stepped foot in Fontaine. Without famous? You're too humble. How should I put it? To certain people, your arrival in Fontaine would be as if someone had just set off a bomb on the stage of Opera Epicles. Of course, I mean this in only the most positive way. Don't you agree, my dear Luca? But how could a bomb going off ever be a good thing? I'm not very good with words. How would you put it, my dear Luca? Linny and Alette's magic show. Blasting everything wide open to accomplish the impossible. Spine-tingling experience. Precisely. See, I would never have thought to put it like that. If you say so. Why are you called the White Glove, though? Paimon doesn't see a white glove at all. Doesn't see a glove at all. Ooh, now that's a hard question. How should I explain? Imagine, if you will, that you're wearing a white glove. If something dirty were to get on your hand, then a dark mark would be left on the glove. My duty would be to find that dark mark and remove it from view. So he's got a dagger. And the implication of this is that he's cleaning up after Virgil's mess. With mess. Huh, so you're something like a cleaner? Exactly, my dear Paimon. See, I was never able to so succinctly summarize the nature of my work. So people like you are the reasons why the streets of the court of Fontaine are always so well kept and tidy. That's what I like to hear. Yes, you may understand it like that. Yeah, we're being threatened right now. Okay, that makes sense to Paimon, but why would a cleaner need a knife? You may think of it as a small tool of the trade that we bring out when there are marks that are particularly hard to remove. Got it, thanks. So, is your friend Luca here, Luca the Fisherman, because he's really good at fishing? That's only part of the story, I'm afraid. See, there are many kinds of fish in Fontaine as well. And Luca here is really experienced at teaching people to spend some quality time with all the different kinds of fish. He's telling us to go swim with the fishes. Am I right, my dear Luca? Huh? Paimon doesn't get it. If that's the case, then... I must say, dear Paimon, that you've really got a knack for asking the most difficult and fascinating questions. It would be most wonderful if we could have a longer conversation, where I will be able to answer everything to your full satisfaction. Paimon, it's okay to stop asking. Alright then. Sonny and Luca, is there something you'd like to ask us? You see, we're extremely intrigued by the practice of diving. Fontaine's waters are full of priceless treasures, left by nature and our ancestors alike. We heard that you had made a good friend recently, and even went for a dive with him. Your powers were such that you didn't even need to use any diving equipment. Isn't that right, my dear Luca? You want to ask about Virgil? Yes, we want to ask about Virgil. Virgil, that liar and traitor. Just remembering him makes Paimon mad. You recount your experiences with Virgil to Sonny the White Glove and Luca the Fisherman. I see. Thank you for telling us all of this. You're welcome. Paimon hasn't forgotten a single thing about that guy. We are, of course, exceedingly grateful that you were willing to share the whole story with us. However, from my own perspective, I am even more relieved that you do not consider Virgil to be a friend. If that hadn't been the case... maybe I can put it like this. Had you seen him as a friend, things would have been quite awkward for both of us. Isn't that right, my dear Luca? It could make things difficult. I agree. Thank you so much. What are you talking about? They are Virgil's enemies. Ah! Your words wound me, my lovely lady. I have many friends and not a single enemy. Virgil is just one of my many friends. And speaking of dear Virgil, I think it's about time that we have a serious talk with him. Surely you understand what I mean, dear Harley. Of course, this is also so we can get back at him for what he's done to you. It's the least we can do for our honoured guest, don't you think? Yeah, Paimon is lost. He's the white glove. That's all you have to know. I wish this man a very die. To be fair, though, we hate Virgil. Virgil left us to die. Like, Virgil specifically trapped us underwater and tried to get us killed. So, I don't even mind that they want to go after Virgil. They can be my guest. But he also kind of sucks. Okay. We've already found the stronghold of Virgil and the rest of his friends. Why don't we meet up there? Think this dude would fuck with eugenics? Yeah, it's the Aryan vibe. I think also they're probably just trying to use us to get rid of Virgil so they can like steal the stuff that he's got and also hello Eve and also like get him out of the way so they don't have any competition. Why don't we also need to go? My lovely lady, with how much Virgil has wronged you, we cannot possibly have our conversation with him without informing you of our plans beforehand. See, Luca agrees as well. Humph. Paimon wants to talk to Virgil too. He has to make a formal apology to us. You are too kind. Then let's meet up at our destination. Dear Paimon and my lovely lady, this is the stronghold that Virgil has been using as of late. I swear, why is Virgil still not back yet? If he's just going to keep us waiting, I might not be able to hold myself back from the shipment of synth. So they're treasure hoarders. And they have the synth. Hey, cut it out! That shipment took us an arm and a leg to get. Virgil will have no mercy for you if you were to just take it without his permission. Look at them masked up. Underwater. What a pity. It would seem that my dear friend Virgil hasn't returned to the stronghold yet. We can still have a chat with these guys, however. But it doesn't look like they're in the mood for a chat. But I think they may change their minds soon enough. What do you think, my dear Luca? No problem. Hey, are you sure there'd be no problem? Paimon thinks they'll probably just try to beat you up. Oh no, you were too considerate, dear Paimon. Something like that would be most unfortunate indeed. For them, of course. Curses, it's the white glove and... Oh, Archon's the fisherman too! Oh no, the fisherman. What is the fisherman doing here? I want to see what damage they can do. This guy isn't really doing a whole lot, I'm not gonna lie. Harley, what are you? And the white glove and the fisherman. He fucking thwacked him. Wait. Smack him. That was fun. Please let me explain. This is all a misunderstanding. Mr. Sonny, you see, we only got into this business because we heard there was more to be made. And since the higher-ups didn't agree, we figured we could just earn the money first and then turn all of the profits over. Yeah, that's exactly it. He's totally ignoring Paimon. Same. I have no complaints against the organization, not at all. Oh, right. I was also tricked by these crooks. That's the only reason at all why I did something so foolish. Impressive. Very impressive. Hardly you were every inch as strong as the stories have made you out to be. Don't you agree, my dear Luca? Super strong. Incredibly formidable. Please, if you still remember anything about the time we spent together. Mr. Sonny, Mr. Luca. Please, please no. Luca, our guests are still here. Let us not do anything discourteous that might bring down their mood. Understood. Humph. See the errors of your ways now, Virgil? It was my fault. It was all my fault. Please, have mercy. Okay, at least you've admitted that you have done something wrong. Now, make sure you won't do it again. My dear Virgil will never do something like that again. Paimon, Harley, I can promise you that on the honour of Sonny the White Glove, as well as that of my father and son. What are you going to do now? Life can often become extremely boring when you understand everything in this world. Isn't that right, my lovely lady? And if you must know, we will have a very long and serious chat with him. We will not take any more of your time, however. Thank you so much, Sonny and Luca. It seems that there are more good than bad people in Fontaine after all. Farewell, dear Paimon, and my lovely lady. I hope there'll come a day when we're able to work together again. Eek. Alright, my dear Virgil, you've really put us through a lot of trouble. Now then, what should we do with you? Sorry. This won't do at all. You know full well that time flies, and it is now too late for you to turn back. Our organisation has a justice code all on our own, and one of our most important rules is that there are some trades that you just never do. But Mr. Sonny, please just listen to me. The profit margin on this, it's just... Not this again. Mora, Mora, Mora. Is there anything you care about other than Mora? What about your pride as a citizen of Fontaine? How about your conscience as you watch our countrymen turn into husks of themselves from this drink? Ah, so he was trading synth, I see. Bah! Oh, how shocking. Even Luca is showing intense emotion in response to your words. You see, my dear Virgil, you've truly accomplished the impossible. Mr. Sonny, please believe me. It's all because of what those guys said. They lied to me. I would not have done anything if not for... Silence, you worthless dross. You're the exact kind of lowlife I've got no time for. Even now, you're still trying to lie to me, huh? Are you beyond dumb, or do you think I'm dumb? Not so talkative now, are you? You even tried to hurt Harley. Did you even have the faintest inkling of who you were asked to deal with? To think that he could have trained someone as clueless as you. I've really got to have a good conversation with him. But that will not be something you'll need to worry about, my dear Virgil. Yeah, I was like minding my own business, wandering around, like exploring. Oh, shit. And interacted with a book. And the book took me to a brand new area. And I was like, oh. Yeah, see, I saw this book and I was like, oh, I wonder what this says. Have I read it before? Turns out I had not read it before. Turns out this happens. And I was like, oh no. And then I got these two quests and I was like, oh no. Now I need to know. So we have unfinished story and the final question. So, yeah, the story continues, all right. But I figured, oh. Oh. Oh, I guess this takes you back, right? You read it and then it takes you back. I'm just not on the map. Oh, another enigmatic page. We need those. There's a chest. Oh, multiple chests. What's going on? We seem to be in a different place now. But where is this? Searching. No data concerning this place has been found in my memory banks. So you haven't been here before either, then? Affirmative. There is no need to worry, Miss Harley, Miss Paimon. I am equipped with the most advanced objects from the Fontaine Institute of Natural Philosophy Simply need to record this information in my storage units and compare it with previous data. The odds of this being the NARZISSENKREUZ order are high. I hate doing this voice. Hi. Guess this must be the place we're looking for then. Do you remember anything useful upon arriving here, Seymour? Negative. The newly recorded information is pending further analysis and organization. No effective conclusion possible at present. I can't get the voice. I can't get it quite the same. Huh? Then, are we gonna have to wait for a long time until... Affirmative. Record space collation starting. Total time required unknown. Interactive functions will cease temporarily while this is ongoing. Wait, hold on a second first. Roger. Interrupting space collation process. What instructions, Miss Harley, Miss Paimon? Come to think of it, we don't know a lot about you either, Seymour. All we know is that your master isn't ma mère, but is someone named Marianne. Affirmative. Miss Marianne is my master. According to my standard deduction module, the odds of finding clues as to her whereabouts here are high. Is this voice annoying anyone? Be honest. We know, you said that before too, but it felt like there were some more basic questions we hadn't answered yet. Now seems like a good time, right? If you could tell us a bit more about yourself and Marianne, we might be able to better help you. Of course, kind miss. So, Harley, what would you like to ask? Tell us about yourself, Seymour. I am prototype 4ACV07, designed by... Was she Doctor Who for a moment there? Oh yeah, I guess it's kind of Dalek-y, isn't it? To accompany and protect my master, Miss Marianne. Paimon didn't get a word of that. Okay, Knight. Yeah, I guess so. Is my creator. I am equipped with the most advanced optics, memory storage unit, logic unit, and various functional modules from the Fontaine Institute of Natural Philosophy. That was clear as mud, but it sure sounds impressive. The more impressive the equipment, the harder it might be to fix once broken. Note: regular record space collation can decrease the frequency of such issues effectively. I can't do it as nasally as I was doing it before, and it's annoying me. So basically, before you've done your collation thing, there's some stuff that you can't tell us, even if you knew, right? What about if I do this? Affirmative. More precisely. Grasp. Okay, that sounds better. I can't quite get it today. Information regarding can be extracted using. This allows me to keep a log of Miss Marianne's daily life and also act as an agent's assistant. Are you serious? The important bits all got cut off. What's an agent's assistant? An agent refers to a member of the Merchant Phantom who undertakes investigations. In this context, the system refers to Seymour, prototype Glory CV07 itself. So Marianne was a Merchant Phantom agent? Affirmative. I should put like a voice mod on, but this is more fun. Wait, if that's who she is, wouldn't looking for official records help us find her faster? Why do we need to come here? Miss Marianne's role as an agent was not publicized. Additionally, the case she investigated has to do with... It is performed at the direction of... As such... Ugh, Seymour, you're breaking down again, aren't you? No, regular record space collation can decrease the frequency of such issues effectively. Let's just ask a different question, shall we? Any other questions? Tell me about the NARZISSENKREUZ order. Can we really find clues about Marianne's whereabouts here? You've never been here before, right? So why do you think we'll find clues here? My latest records indicate that the last records before meeting Miss Mamere were those of myself executing a specific process. This process was the capture of fugitive elements with the NARZISSENKREUZ order. Miss Marianne was also executing this process. As her companion and guard, I followed her and into Elinas. There, we encountered members of the NARZISSENKREUZ order, including Jacob Ingold, a core member of said order. So he was a member, and Marianne was pursuing him. Affirmative. But I'm suffering for the art. Well, I guess there really was some relation there, then. We should have captured Jacob and questioned him. Paimon wonders if he'll come back here. If we ever meet again, we're going to have some questions for him. He doesn't seem like the sort who'll simply answer questions if asked. If all else fails, we can just, you know, go good cop, bad cop on him. There's gotta be some way, or else we're stuck waiting for Seymour to recall stuff.
You mean when I complete my record space collation, Ms. Paimon?
Those things are basically the same. Any other questions? Tell me about your latest records.
A fierce battle against the members of the Order broke out within Illinois. My storage unit encountered an error due to massive trauma. We must foil the Order's plans. To that end, Jacob Ingold must be stopped. Due to Miss Marianne.
You best take a break.
Your words are most considerate.
Seems like we're gonna have to wait for you to do that collation thing, Seymour. But whatever the case, Jacob was trying to do something bad inside Elinas, while you and Marianne were trying to stop him, right?
Affirmative. Your summary is overly simplistic, perhaps, but it is basically the truth, Miss Paimon.
If we only have this information, finding Marianne might be somewhat We talked, then! So much for silent protag. Finding Marianne might be somewhat difficult. Doesn't seem like we've got other options beyond waiting for you to do that record collation of yours, Seymour.
Affirmative. My calculations indicate that this is the approach with the highest success rate.
But it'll take a lot of time, won't it? Why are we talking here? Is this meant to be Paimon?
If you wish, I can estimate the amount of time required. Processing time required? I don't know.
Yeah, no need for this estimation stuff then. Well, Paimon's done asking Seymour questions now. But boy, has she still got some for you, Harley. You promised you'd explain, didn't you? I didn't stash any snacks away without your knowledge. That's not what Paimon's asking. But there's no one to disturb us now, and Seymour's, well, a related party, right? No time like the present, then. You tell Paimon and Seymour about the conversation you had previously with Elinas. Huh, so that's the thing that happened. Paimon thought you gotten sick or something when you started saying all that weird stuff. Well, it's good to know that you're fine. By the way, Seymour, leaving you here to perform your record collation wouldn't be a problem, would it?
Affirmative. I do not detect any possible source of danger.
Well, then you can just stay here for now, right?
A wise choice. The two of you should use our limited time more effectively. Patience is a virtue in some situations, but meaningless waiting is merely a waste of time.
We'll come back to see you. Yeah, Mamere's gonna be super worried about you too. You've got to go back to her in one piece after all. Oh my god. Did you say anything else?
Collating record space. Please wait patiently. Do not forcibly exit or shut the unit down before the process is completed.
Key to someplace in the Institute. Drained conch cup. Interesting. Here we are, the NARZISSENKREUZ Auto. I remember this place. I know it. This is indeed the NARZISSENKREUZ Auto. Right? We found this place previously as well. It's just like what happened with the book in the Anaporsis. That's right. We read, and poof, we showed up in a totally different spot. That makes this place something like a secret base, doesn't it? We don't even know where it really is, either. Are you feeling more calm now, Anne? Yes, much better. Thank you, Knight Harley. Or should I drop that title? It was all fake after all. Don't say that, Anne. But... oh, I didn't mean to click that. Harley's right, you know. We've still got a whole bunch of adventures waiting up ahead of us. And how shall one proceed in peace of mind without a reliable knight at hand, oh lovely maiden? Come on, Paimon was just trying to encourage Anne. Psst. You're quite the knight yourself, Paimon. You're positive, and you've got a good heart. It makes me happy, truly. Oh, come on, why are you getting so serious all of a sudden? You're just less powerful than Knight Harley, that's all. Damn. Everyone's got things they're good at. Harley's got a good brain and sword arm, and Paimon, a powerful eater, has powerfully white hair, is a powerful giver of nicknames. Yep, that's Paimon, a gifted speaker indeed. That's not what I said. But that aside, didn't you say before that the NARZISSENKREUZ Auto has deep links with the past, Anne? That's why we came in the first place. Yes, however, my head's still a complete mess. That's true. Paimon knows. Let's put what we've discovered together real quick. when we were exploring the Anaporsis. Oh boy, Paimon's head's a mess too. Any ideas, Harley? Let's discuss Anne. Right, Paimon's been thinking about that too. Marianne said that your birth was a beautiful accident. What does that mean? It makes me think maybe, like, Anne was, like, a creation of Marianne's. I think it might simply be that my birth was a coincidence. Just as she said, I'm someone she dreamed of, the form she took in the dream. The things we experienced together were also part of the tale in the dream. If it hadn't been for you, that dream might never have ended. Or perhaps it might have ended, and I might have disappeared with the happily ever after. I can't be sure. That's true. Not that Paimon gets it. This means that Marianne is also an Oceanid. Eh? And Anne was created from Marianne. Ah, okay. Because I was thinking Marianne was a human, and maybe in, like, the experiments, like, Anne was, like, a creature that she made, but Anne is, like, a subset of Marianne the Oceanid. And Anne was created from Marianne. Eh? Eh? That's what I believe as well. And if that's the case, the things I remember during our journey should have been her memories. Or so I'd think. Your knowledge and experience cannot exceed that of the main body. Ah. But when you met her, you also became your own entity. Without a main body to restrict and control you. So, become the master of your own fate. Her last words to me. Ooh, okay, Paimon gets it now. So that means that Petit Chou, Al, and the others are creations just like you, right? I believe that to be the case, yes. In that case, who was Marianne really? This name is very familiar to me. But I cannot recall why. It's like some part of my body has been frozen. Well, yeah, we just explained that you came from Marianne. Any other thoughts, Harley? Let's discuss the NARZISSENKREUZ Ordo. Alright, I now have a lot of thoughts on the matter, memories and emotions. When those two children brought me here, it was a lovely place. Everything was new and shiny, just as before. They were vibrant and excited, like the sunlight shining on the water. They told me that this was our new home, and that they brought many new friends, that everything could be like they were before. But later, they changed. Some things stopped being the same, and the people here changed too. Though the NARZISSENKREUZ Institute of old did not have sunlight, it was very warm. Yet this place grew ever colder. And then... Anne. Anne looks like she's in pain, Harley. Can you recall anything else? I'm sorry, Night Harley. As for the rest, each time I try and recall it, I grow very frightened. And very sad. This is the best I can do for now. I can sense that many terrible things happened here. I can sense many emotions. Rage, terror, but also hope, trust, and admiration. But all of them make me feel a strange sort of pain, like there were all sorts of shards or impurities embedded in my body. I don't want to. I can't. Alright. Leave that aside first. There's no need to force it. The more you try to force yourself to remember, the less you'll be able to remember. Is that how that works? Any other thoughts, Harley? Let's discuss Princess Lyris. I suspect that she was only ever a character in a story. In that tale, we needed to save her and defeat the fell dragon Narcissus. That was my original purpose. Wish. All stories must have their origins. Speaking of that, Anne, we've heard you mention a place called the NARZISSENKREUZ Institute before. Yeah, that's where we were before. So if we go with Harley's logic, the NARZISSENKREUZ Kingdom and Adventure Team might have their story's origin in the Institute and the Ordo, right? That is possible. It feels like we got our hands on some new clues, but then again not. Actually, I've recalled something else. I've seen terrifying sights. The primordial waters, the amniotic fluid of the world, and its placenta devoured to the last. It's very graphic imagery. The world fell into utter darkness. Never again would the cool spring water flow. I saw that once, or perhaps I saw that in the future. The Samsara, maybe? But wait a second, what are you talking about? The past or the future? I don't know. Sorry, and thank you, Night Harley, Paimon. Come on, it's fine. We said we were going to help you. No, I truly am happy that the two of you are the first two friends I met since I became me. For that, you have my thanks. Pleased to have met you too, Anne. Why are the two of you being so formal? Is Anne gonna die? Isn't becoming friends something that just, happens? When you called out to us and asked for our help, Anne, that was the moment Paimon thought, that's right, you're our friend, and we've got to help you. Thank you so much, Paimon. Don't be like that, Anne. If you really want to thank us, then keep your chin up and keep those spirits high. Yes, you're exactly right, Paimon. Besides, I have your help. I shouldn't waste it by standing still. I must recall more and tell you all about it. Not that you have to push yourself too hard to recall the past. There is a chance that I might be able to think of some lovely things. If I do, you'll be the first to know, Night Harley, Paimon.
Miss Harley, Miss Paimon, I detect an Oceanid's biological signature.
Yeah, you finally woke up.
Negative. My various previous clockwork cycles were spent collating fragmented data and searching for useful information.
Not that we're going to be able to see any of the photos inside, will we?
Affirmative.
Ooh, yes. Let's Paimon introduce you. This is Anne, an Oceanid and a friend of ours. And this is... I know, you're the silly dog, Seymour. Huh?
I lack the relevant data. I do not believe we have had the honor of meeting Oceanid Anne.
I've never met you before either, but I was sure of it the moment I saw you. You must be Seymour. What's going on here? This must be... No, I don't know either. I feel... strange.
Note, regular record space collation can decrease the frequency of such issues effectively.
Anyway, let's bring you up to speed. You shed a little light on the matter so far. So Seymour is searching for Marianne. No wonder that name felt familiar. The person Seymour mentioned and is looking for is also named Marianne.
Note, regular record space collation can decrease the frequency of such issues effectively.
Hey! Paimon's had it with you, you silly dog. According to what Seymour said before, they can't be the same Marianne, right? The timing.
Based on your statement, may I deduce that you have met someone named Marianne in the past, or perhaps read or heard about such a person from sources apart from myself?
Well, that was her name, that's for sure. You know what? Let's do it like this. We call the Marianne and the Anaporsis Marianne 1, and the one you're looking for, Seymour, can be Marianne 2.
Negative. The Miss Marianne I am searching for is of a higher sequential priority. To prevent confusion, she should be Marianne 1 instead.
Huh? Why don't you look at it this way, Seymour? 2 is bigger than 1. Doesn't that make it pretty good too?
Your claim. Sorting data fragments.
Looks like he stopped functioning again. Hee, silly dog. Ooh, Paimon didn't think you had any mean bones in you, Anne, but you sure do. Is that mean? I don't know why, but I suddenly felt compelled to do that.
Preliminary data fragment sorting complete. For the following 15 reasons, Ocean and Anne, I assess that your perspective is illogical. Firstly...
Alright, that stuff doesn't matter. Come, good doggy, sit.
Understood. Why?
If you sit, we'll be able to improve photo-taking stability, right?
Yes. Do you need to take a photo, Ocean and Anne? I am equipped with the most advanced optics from the Fontaine Institute of Natural Philosophy. I can...
Oh, there's no need, but thank you.
Understood.
Wow, Seymour's getting played left and right over here. Do you want to go to the Anaporsis, Seymour? Yeah, that way you can meet that Marianne and see if she's the one you're looking for or not. What you say makes sense, Paimon.
Affirmative. A reasonable suggestion.
Well then, let's go. Actually, Night Harley, Paimon, I don't think we'll need to trouble you this time. I can show Seymour the way. Are you sure you'll be fine? Yes, I know Seymour's very reliable. Okay, we'll meet back here later, alright? What? That was it? Oceanids are beautiful creatures nurtured by the land of Fontaine. According to legend, the gentle Egeria shed the first tear, from which the first Oceanid was born. I think Egeria here is the first Hydro Archon, but I'm not sure. Some say that Egeria felt great sympathy for dragons, and others say she felt great sadness over the eventual fate of humanity. Now all that we have left is a metaphorical representation whose true meaning remains unclear. The lizard's bones dissolved into mud, from which swans emerged. The newborn Oceanid was bestowed with the task of comprehending all forms of life, to seek an understanding of the diverse array of species and to love every creature. It emerged from the sea of life, possessing the power of metamorphosis. Egeria wished it to use this power to etch the essence of living creatures into its being, and it gradually developed a yearning for life. Once it gained enough understanding of humanity, it shed its first tear upon the earth. We have used she to refer to the first and her lineage ever since. This is the origin of Oceanids. A small addendum. Perhaps you believe that this kind of document has no scientific value, asserting that physical evidence and records suggest that the origin of Oceanids predates Egeria and the even earlier realm of Remoria, and you reckon the only evolutionary diversity of forest pigs, field tracking research on geographically distinct forms, counts as genuine research. So I have a question for you. Do you dare to explore our own origins? The gods unleash thunder in anger, and goddesses cry oceans in sorrow. These things are real. Oceanids display considerable disparities in cognitive capacity, partially due to differences in lifespan, resulting in very different levels of experience and knowledge regarding the world. But substantial individual variation in the Oceanids themselves also contributes to this phenomenon. Some Oceanids are simply too obtuse to complete tasks related to the continent's water systems and are thus confined to fontaine, where they assist in soothing human emotions. The increase in the number of Oceanids we have previously considered breeding, proliferation and reproduction, but none are suitable terms, does not require any pairing off or matchmaking. After gaining sufficient understanding and emotion, they approach the Hydroarchon or an elder for permission to claim a thing, which results in their division into little Oceanids. This thing is highly abstract, and in order to make its name more comprehensible to humans, we refer to it as a helix split. However, what it is exactly remains unknown. Some believe it could be a drop of pure water essence, nurtured by the emotions and intelligence of the parent, eventually giving rise to life. Others speculate that it might be a single sound, a name, possibly even a forbidden utterance, capable of stirring the cycle of elemental forces and drawing on the desire that doesn't exist with the pure water bodies of Oceanids, allowing new life to be attracted into the world. Still others propose that it serves as a permit, granting permission for the dreams and desires within Oceanids to be bestowed with a new name, much like the names of childhood dreams throughout the ages. However, this is a story between Oceanids, and humans have no hope to know it. The propagation of all Oceanids needs to be officially registered. If something were to happen to Egeria, no disrespect intended, may she keep some blessings for herself, the Oceanid elders will also ensure the continuation of their species. But in the event of a more calamitous occurrence, what will happen to the Oceanids? Okay, let's submit this. In the expedition to Petrichor and the ruins from before, we discovered origin. Sims, real? It seems that compared to humans, we, if all return to, transcend. Although anti-intellectual and counterintuitive, the ancients succeeded before. Most of the remaining content cannot be deciphered due to the thoughts expressed being utterly incoherent. That's me posting in any Discord server. Okay. Oh wait, this is before. Whoops. Oh. I've been assigned to Alan's lab. That guy only likes things he can figure out completely. If this were a novel, he might be the type of villain who becomes a crazed serial killer just to figure out how the human body works. Bro. But he doesn't seem even remotely fazed about such statements. On the contrary, he spoke to us about the similarities and differences between humans and machines, and between artificial intelligence and personality. Uh-oh, this is bad. At this rate, he might really turn into a villain like that. I was disappointed to discover that quality of the people from the Institute is worse than I expected. Me rocking onto any party. I expected the people here to be smarter and more open to new ideas than those in high positions outside, but the reality has been infuriating. Or perhaps it would be more appropriate to call it incomprehensible. It stands to reason that a research institution with such vast resources should possess the greatest talent. Alan's assistant isn't very good, a little stupid even. But at the very least, he is not hostile and doesn't fear us. I'm unable to get the research resources I desire for now, but that isn't a bad thing. Jacob has always been fond of watching him take apart pocket watches and other clockwork devices. The direction of Alan's research on controlled annihilation isn't bad, and it would be very interesting to figure out the nature of Usia and Numa. After all, as a form of energy localized to fontaine that has been observed in living organisms, fully researching them might help us understand the difference in nature between the structure of our bodies and that of Carl's. In any case, I must find a way to win over the people here. Though their imagination is limited, and it's unpleasant to say so, they have some influence outside the Institute. Their strength and resources must be consolidated to help them. I can use that book to show them what we've experienced. Although they say a single piece of evidence is never sufficient, the change in Jacob fills me with hope. If I could make more people accept this kind of change, then it wouldn't matter even if we came face to face with the apocalypse. Even if our world couldn't even grow mint, we could still survive, and as long as we can survive, we can revive our civilization. That would be the next topic. He called it a field investigation from the higher-ups, but I think Carter just wanted to take us out to have some fun. I wonder when he got to know Mary Ann. Though it's quite nice because I haven't seen such a carefree smile on her face for a long time. The same goes for Jacob and Alain. It's like they were back in the NARZISSENKREUZ Institute. Of course, I was quite happy too. Based on the ruins here, it's likely to be related to the Golden Troop. If that is true, the huge stone figures in the ruins may have significant research value as well. I found a damaged map. It may be useful. I just found out about his physical condition. It seems I cannot continue indulging in mechanical research with Alain, and I must find a final solution as soon as possible, or it will be too late. Shall be the passage between the primordial and the present. Deconstruct and reverse its utility and internalize. Use to fully master. Matrimony of chemistry, bonding of the elements, circular ruins, forest in the mirror. Send Lyris and Jacob to... Oh, so Lyris was a real person. Wait. Most of the content has dissolved and is beyond comprehension. Interesting. Go to Elinas and carry out the above order together. Buy time. Let us meet again in the new universe and the pure sea of tranquility. They're trying to remake the world. Ancient log. The assigned assistant doesn't seem very reliable. At the moment, it doesn't look like the power sources of those war machines can be used. Their cores are far too dangerous. I'll get them to seek out other such mysterious machines. No progress worth reporting today. Went out with Anne under the watchful eyes of my adoptive father to look for inspiration at sites where the battles took place. Ran into Renee and Jacob. The assistant doesn't seem reliable. Caused some accidents. Just another obstacle to overcome. This kind of machine with the seemingly arbitrary external form is quite interesting. Research will focus on their power source. Research prime energy machines. Assistant took the day off. Asked Anne for help. Recommended Renee and Jacob to the director of the Institute. Oh, I think this is from the point of view of Alain. Research prime energy machines. Assistant took the day off. Asked Anne for help. Suggested she join the Institute, but she wasn't interested. He's so autistic coded. Research prime energy machines. My assistant still isn't back. I'll go to pay a visit. Found Renee and Jacob's adoptive father with my own adoptive father's help. This adoptive father thing. The supplementary prime energy machines have arrived. Should be able to make progress now. Assistant seems to be in good spirits. Probably just a minor illness. Research prime energy machines. Renee and Jacob joined the Institute. They've been assigned to my project. Field research today. Interesting machine statue. Research prime energy machines. Research prime energy machines. My adoptive father visited, but I was too busy to host him. Anne scolded me. I'll remember to apologize next time I see him. Oh wait, yeah. His adoptive father is what's-face Guillotine who founded the Institute, I think, right? Researched prime energy machines. Assistant took the day off. On the threshold of a major breakthrough. Assistant took the day off. I was too busy to visit. Anne scolded me. I'll go tomorrow. On the threshold of a major breakthrough. Forgot about the visit. I'm sorry. Will invite everyone to go with me. Took the day off. Assistant took the day off. Went to visit. An idea. A virtual neural network based on a vast quantity of thinking units outside instead of logic trees. A camera? Oh, is he on the same lines as like the Akasha? I think he was sort of like thinking along those lines. Research prime energy machines. Assistant took the day off. Research prime energy machines. Assistant took the day off. Hive mind. Yeah. This just makes me think of the Akasha, but yeah, another hive mind situation. They were all kind of thinking of hive minds because there's that. There's also the golden slumber. There's this isn't me. Yeah, and there's like the oceanids, which are kind of hive minds. Very interesting. Research prime energy machines. Renee and Jacob went to begin conducting their own research today. Assistant took the day off. A breakthrough. Patent application process is too annoying. Forget it. Assistant's condition seems okay. Still a little worried. Considering the gap in medical technology, advised assistant to go to Seymour. Damn. This assistant. Oh, yeah, the other thing in here is from the point of view of the assistant, who I think might be a human who was suffering the effects of the Hilly Child curse. The curse of the wilderness. That's what I can gather from the notes. Or at least he was suffering from something, whether he was turning into an abyssal creature. I think his name was like Carter or something. But yeah, it seems like the majority of the people who were researching here were maybe oceanids or Melusines or something like that. And the assistant was like a human, potentially. That's just the vibe I get. Took the day off. Researching machine kinematics next. Must make a materials list. Visit. 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 They said a bigger lab has been prepared for the kinematic experiments, but I've decided not to move for now. Visit. 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 That's a blessing, or to turn into a hilly child. Been urged to move the lab several times, but if the lab is moved, my assistant might not be able to find it. A pain. Have you tried communicating? Visit. 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 Moved my lab. Oh! We got an achievement. Hell yeah. Oh. Oh, there's an animatic page. There's 5. Okay.
Don't tell me that's everything.
That's rude. Okay. What? Okay. So this is the Crimson Agate from Dragonspine. Yeah. Not Crimson Agate. Yeah, is it Scarlet Ore? Crimson Ore? Whatever the fuck it's called. From Dragonspine. Yeah, I hadn't been in this place. Oh, and we've got 8. Okay. So this now links everything up. Cool. Ancient log. Anyway, when it comes down to it, our research directions are different, so I applied for a new research lab with the director. But there's nothing for it anyway. Alan is incredibly intelligent, but he only trusts himself, and doesn't trust our observations or accomplishments until he reaches the same conclusions through his own calculations. That's just like my dad. Well, it's okay, since Alan is making the world a better place in his own way. I trust him, because this is the world that Anne lives in. Even though the Institute is full of people, I don't have many friends besides Carter. Feels like everyone kind of dislikes us. Oh, is this written for behalf of Jacob, maybe? Renee managed to acquire something powerful to research. Apparently these appeared after the disaster, and are very dangerous for most people. But I feel okay. Maybe my constitution really has gotten a lot better. Oh, maybe this is... The disaster is maybe the cataclysm? And they're probably talking about the abyssal, like, thing that's in this room. And so they're experimenting with abyssal energy on Jacob. But I feel okay. Maybe my constitution really has gotten a lot better. I helped Renee out. When I visited him, I found out that he also attended NARZISSENKREUZ Institute. We didn't tell him about the vice director abandoning us, or it would have made him sad. If only we could have helped him just like I was helped. After discussing it with Renee, he finally agreed to give it a try. He said since it's dangerous, everything needs to be made clear to Carter, and he must make the judgment himself as it concerns his own life. But if it's successful, then he'll survive just like I did. Yeah, I really think he was turning into a Hillychurl. I think they were both turning into Hillychurls, and they experimented on both of them. And Jacob survived. Maybe Carter didn't. So this is 5. Oh. Damn. Alan made a huge breakthrough. Everyone is discussing Fontaine's energy revolution. But instead of praise, there seems to be more jealousy drifting around the Institute. Although it has nothing to do with me, I'm still furious on his behalf. The adventurer we commissioned found something really valuable, a red gemstone that appeared on the snowy mountains of Mondstadt after the disaster. Oh, that was the Crimson Agate, or whatever the fuck it's called, that we found in that bit next to the dark mud. Its properties are very similar to the flesh and blood of Elinas, verified by Jacob. Yeah, so abyssal. It's supposedly a product of the great dragon's decaying corpse. In order to reduce confusion, it will hereinafter be referred to as Scarlet Quartz. That's the fucking name of it. Scarlet Quartz. Although it generates heat and has the effect of increasing explosive power, the toxins it contains means ordinary humans cannot withstand it, with the exception of 1, neo-humans, tentative name, like Jacob. Interesting. And 2, capable of detoxifying it. None have been found yet. Another similar discovery is the filth in the great mines of Lille. Yeah, okay, so they brought the filth over there. Unfortunately, I've hit a snag in my research. The biggest challenge is how to reproduce results. So I think this is written by Renee. But if I can obtain sufficient resources, I'm certain I can overcome this. At the very least, the idiots on our side still fear us. The tricks I put Jacob up to were very quite effective. Yeah, I think this must be Renee. Even though it's quite sad that people from an Institute of Natural Philosophy have somewhat turned into believers, at least I can entrust them with simple tasks. Let's use that name to form a society for now. I'll use it as a means to give them organisation and a sense of belonging. But Carter is unconscious. I took samples of his blood and skin and got a swift cat's paw to take it to Seymour to be looked at. A what? Other from observing the problem, the root of the problem cannot be found. It's pointless, absolutely pointless. Conventional medicine is pointless. I must figure something else out. Jacob's proposal is very dangerous. I must give it more thought. I told Carter everything and had Jacob prove his strength and transformation. I even explained the risks, its historical baggage, and my other objective, to create a second sample that can corroborate the realization of human transcendence via, I'm assuming this is Abyss or something, and derive the holistic character and method from it. Carter isn't very good at thinking scientifically, so I used many examples and methods of emphasis, but he seems to have made up his mind from the beginning. Still deteriorating. It seems Jacob's successful integration was an extreme case, or perhaps he's not himself anymore. I can't be sure. So yeah, it seems like my hypothesis was correct then, in that both Jacob and Carter were similar and suffering from a similar thing, which presumably is the Hillychurl curse, and they were using abyssal power to try and cure them, and turn them into abyssal creatures, which would be, I guess, better in their eyes. And it worked with Jacob, but didn't work with Carter. I must continue observing. It can't be a waste. It can't be a waste. Or else it will have all been for nothing, utterly meaningless. I got more materials in an attempt to reverse it. All sorts of relics and biological tissue from after the calamity. Okay, so yeah, this is shortly after the cataclysm, I guess. I even got my hands on extremely dangerous residue. That's probably the filth. Nothing worked. But I can't give up. He's still alive right now. At the very least, in this sense, it can continue. It cannot be a waste. He's preserved for now, and further tissue collapse has been prevented. Jacob doesn't tear up at the sight of him anymore. But occasionally Carter's voice is occasionally heard from. And that's the worst. I've tried cutting out the organs where his vocal cords probably are, but they grow back in 1 to 3 days. Oh, they turned him into some weird creature. Not even a Hillychurl, I don't think. Alan and I have completely broken off our working relationship. It's regrettable, but I don't blame him. The most regrettable part is the previous direction was proved to be ineffective, but it wasn't all for naught. Identifying the errors made was the greatest benefit. Due to the short lifespans, the cost of trial and error is very high. So was Renee an Oceanid, and maybe they were talking about humans? On this account, I must thank Carter. So I must find a way to save him. I must prove that I can do it. Another thing I gain is members of the society have grown more loyal. Aren't I a talented actor? Actor? So he was lying to people? During my discussion with Jacob, I thought of another direction that's worth trying. It may be the solution to everything. Most of the remaining content cannot be deciphered due to the thoughts expressed being utterly incoherent. The Abyss was just fucking with people's brains. So this is 8. Rather than calling it a sword, it should be called a key. It does not belong to anyone, and it just travels from one hand to the next. The wills of countless people be concentrated. Necessary materials and rituals. Oh, is this the sword we found during Anne's quest, maybe? It's actually quite interesting. It basically just boils down to a kind of extremely effective witchcraft that takes advantage of the situation. But the reason it is effective is due to the nature of the origin, the primordial. Based on the records, the constituent elements should be a circle of 4 orphants and a tree of emanation, flows from the roots toward the center of the circle, and the circle encircles the abstract of... It's akin to pie crust and the filling of the pie, a metaphor sure to excite Jacob. We'll need some suitably sophisticated terminology for the layman. Found the ancient seal's general location. If the records are accurate, we should be able to confirm the specific site. We should also be able to determine the locations of the 4 constituent elements. For as long as we find one, we can calculate all other nodes. We arranged for members of the society to visit several candidate locations. We should be able to find traces of water and channels of higher quality and density. This is just hilarious now. The secrets that ancient civilizations so carefully guarded. What a joke. Turns out we've already been through the same countless times in our youth. The slate replica we discovered supported the calculations. As the prelude to the apocalypse, the sea will... As for rumours about us in opposition to the society, most of the remaining content could not be deciphered due to the thoughts expressed being utterly incoherent. A story? Oh! A long, long time ago, in a place far, far away, there was once a beautiful and kind princess named Lyris. And yep, she's our main character. I don't want this name. It's not what you said before. Oh, come on, it's just a story. There's no need to be so fussy. And so the story goes. Anyway, our protagonist needs an antagonist, an evil one at that. And our evil antagonist, well, that's the dragon Narcissus. So evil is he that the peace-loving people tremble at the sound of his name. Not that he cares about their feelings, though. He sowed destruction across the land with the searing flames he spewed from his mouth. His great wings turned cities to dust, and his burning breath reduced nations to ash. At last, only the princess's realm remained safe. But because the princess worked tirelessly to defend her realm, Narcissus's plot to destroy everything could not succeed. So, in Narcissus's story, I'm the evil villain? Oh, that could be the case, were he the one telling the tale. Something like, and my plans would have succeeded if not for that blasted Princess Lyris. Scooby-Doo reference. Or something like that. Ah, no. I told you that it's just a story, right? Princess Lyris is just a character. She's made up. You're you and you're real. Don't get mixed up, okay? I don't get it. Oh, be patient. Stop cutting me off. Just let me finish the story first, alright? Now, where were we? Oh, I almost forgot. Our protagonist needs assistance. Princess Lyris, kind and beautiful as she is, must surely have a ton of friends who are willing to lend a helping hand. Except that they mention Lyris in one of the research notes, so she must be a real person. Let me see. Princess Lyris has a whole bunch of brave and loyal friends, like Al and Nay. That can't be. Come on, it's just a story. Anything is possible. In our version, Al and Nay are both friends with Lyris. Oh, I wonder if Al is Alain. Nay is someone else? Ah, yes. What was Lyris's other friend's name again? The little guy with flaxen hair. He's not my friend. But Princess Lyris can be friends with him, right? I want to be friends with him too. So let's let him come along, shall we? What's his name again? Alright, let's call him Kate. Ah, then Colonel Kate it is. I mean, he's always got that cool and aloof feel to him. Plus, he's always buried in books, so a rank like that really suits him. Well, there we have it. We've assembled all the characters for the story. The fearsome dragon Narcissus sought to destroy every kingdom upon the land, while Princess Lyris's realm stood strong and unassailable under the protection of her and her trusty friends. Yeah, I get it. And just as in those stories, the princess and her friends lived happily ever after, forever and ever. That's how stories end. We've only just begun. We haven't even reached the exciting parts yet. Exciting parts? Of course. After all, why would Narcissus want to destroy everything? And how would Lyris protect everybody? Aren't you the least bit curious about that? Knowing the ending is good enough, isn't it? Well, that wouldn't be much fun, would it? The endings may seem alike, but the twists and turns in each story set them apart. Just like our story, the lonely Narcissus coveted Lyris's treasure and envied her beauty and kindness, for they were what the dragon once possessed but later lost. As for the treasure that Lyris possesses, let's just say that it's time. Time? That's right. Al once told me, as I recall, that clocks are proof that people want to hold time in their hands, and Nay said that time always seems to be running out. And Lyris has been lonely for a very long time, hasn't she? If she has friends, if she could share her time with them, then she would be happy. So let's say Narcissus failed to invade Lyris's realm, for she had shared all this time with her friends. So when they fought him, they had more time on their side. That's why the dragon was no match for Lyris's friends. Think about it, Lyris. Ah! So the person they're talking to, who's like talking with the quotes, is the real Lyris. If we have more time, wouldn't we be able to do more things? For example, Al could strike Narcissus 3 or 4 more times. He'd be way stronger with more time. Yep, so that's how we're doing this. Following that, Lyris's friends made use of the time she had shared with them to thwart Narcissus again and again. However, the cunning dragon discovered their secret. Like a patient viper, he kept sending his armies to attack, depleting Lyris's time. Thus did Princess Lyris sacrifice much to protect the kingdom and help her friends win their battles. Over time, she forgot about her friends, because she had given away her past. She no longer laughed and played with her friends, as she had given away her time in the present. One day, finally, the once cheerful spring water fell silent, and gloom filled the skies with Narcissus's coming, his wings spread wide. Despite the valiant efforts of Lyris's friends in battle, the dragon was unstoppable, for she had no more time to share with them. The dragon soon arrived before the palace. In the final moments, Lyris gathered her friends, whose names she had no longer remembered, around her, and entrusted them with the most precious thing in the world. It was a pure drop of water. Yes, as pure as you are. She said, "This is my future. Take it with you." Oh, something Anne said about, seeing the future. She said, "Even if I and the kingdom become subject to Narcissus, it shall not matter, for my future shall lie with you." Then she made them a promise. Even if we have lost our shared past and present, as long as we hold on to the future, the time will come again when we shall reunite, and the kingdom will shine again once more. At that moment, the dragon's army blew down the castle gates open with cannon fire. Lyris urged her friends to flee, which they did only after tearful hesitation. Now having lost her future, Princess Lyris, along with the tower she lived in, fell into a stagnant slumber devoid of dreams. Ah, so the Oceanid is Lyris. So fell the last remaining kingdom of light. Lyris's friends hid in the darkness and endured hardships for a long time. Yet they remained united, bound together by the future the princess had promised them. Well, how do you find the story now? I don't understand. The past, the present, and the future, I don't get them either. We have no future after such a disaster. You see, Al is working hard to assist Lord Neville and secure our future. And aren't you, Nay, and Jack all striving together to create one? Together. That's how we've created much of our past, right? Now we are united in the present, we can surely be together in the future too. We'll share the burden of many sorrows and create many joyful moments too. Yep, I know. What about the story then? What happened to the princess? We'll have to save that for another story. I'm running short on time. Need to head back with that silly dog of mine. Oh, so this is Marianne talking to Lyris. I'll share the rest with you next time. Oh, come on, don't be like that. Alright, how about I come up with the beginning, and you tell me the rest next time? Let me think. A long, long time in the future, in a place far, far away, there was a dark empire ruled by the fell dragon Narcissus. The princess he once yearned for had, together with the high tower in which she lived, plunged into a stagnant slumber devoid of dreams, thus remaining untouched by the evil dragon. This enraged Narcissus, so he sent out countless minions to scour the empire for her treasure. He also set up many defensive mechanisms using his baleful sorceries to prevent those on the side of justice from resisting him. He swore that he would reclaim the princess's treasure and awaken her, for only then could he claim her wholly for his own. So he wanted to marry the princess? Okay. There was a group of heroes who protected the treasure that the princess had entrusted to them. A clear, bright pearl of water. One day, a tiny life was born from this pearl of water. And what shall we call this life? What a pain. If I had known that this was how the story might go, I would have used your name here. Any ideas? Let's put this in first. It's really nice to see her again, but there's nothing here except water, which is really quite uncomfortable. Actually, I felt the same way when I travelled to Seymour with Jacob and Carl. Empty buildings feel lonely, yet enduring at the same time. In the apocalypse, stone structures outlive humans 1,000,000 times over. It's the same here. So to a certain extent, it's just a bit of apocalyptic scenery. The director has been observing these scenes for so long, so I'm sure she feels much of the same sorrow. I should visit her when I have the time. Build a new home and bring her over? Jacob would be happy too. Jacob left behind the feather ornament given to him by the vice director, the same ornament he'd been keeping carefully. Oh, we picked that up before. As a result, we never used it as a wand to play any games. I discovered that this place was very likely an ancient facility. If so, I should be able to find useful data. The script's content. What script? I'll visit the director again next time. I heard Marianne will be coming to see her too. It would be nice if we could meet. After all, right now Alan is what? Ooh, luxurious chest. Finally convinced her to follow us to the Gestalt still under construction. She seemed apprehensive, but everything will turn out fine. We no longer have to fear the future. I have a lot of power at my disposal now. I have Jacob, the members of the society, and I generally know what to do. Agreed at last. Now we can obtain the most precious... After all, other than the inferior mutants, you can no longer see the original in Fontaine. Mutants? I am very satisfied with Jacob's design. The sense of mystery and ceremony is very intense. He may have a real knack for this. The rebuilding of the Fort Orthants is near completion, and we have positioned our people based on the locations on the map. Reversing it and adding the power of the sword should be sufficient to control. All of us Fontainians will be able to transcend in this way, shedding the limitations of physical form and separation, and prevent the apocalypse. Oh, so they were trying to get everyone to turn into an Oceanid. Wait, was this the prelude to, Marcel and his research? And him, dissolving people to turn everyone into the hive mind Oceanid? I guess they're trying to combat the prophecy in their own way by turning everyone into Oceanids to prevent everyone from dying in the water. Got the sword, despite the cost. The director's condition is deteriorating. Hope she can hold on. Who's the director? Leaving the pocket watch here, for the time for farewell has come. I'll be the first subject to part, so useless personality can be removed. Damn! To process Carter for rebirth. I failed him. Alain will be impressed with me. Marianne will be delighted. Same with Jacob, since that fellow is like a brother to him. Yeah, everything will get better. So Jacob, I hope you stop making that face. Farewell. I shall rediscover myself through water, and be reborn through water. Oh, wait, Renee. Is Renee Nay? Oh, he must be. I wonder if Jack is like Jacques, because I remember there was someone called Jacques who was referenced and I forget where. This is a tremendous feat that no one else in natural philosophy has ever attempted. If it fails, I won't have to worry about the future anymore.